Welcome back, All Sports Western New York. I have with me now the president of the Harbor Center, John Koelmel. And John, it's so great to get you out of the office and out here to talk. And right behind us is this project that's on such a rapid pace. From a construction standpoint, it's got to be one of the quickest jobs of this magnitude. I mean, it's $173 million project.
Talk about it as closer to $200 million project.
Yeah.
You know, when it's all said and done. Yeah, Cliff Benson, the Mortensen team, group from Icon have just done a phenomenal job. For now, the last 12 months or more, and more importantly, the next 12, 15 months pushing forward. As you said, to rise out of the ground in a relative heartbeat. My words, put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag in terms of the project and the square footage and what we're going to have. They're just doing a phenomenal job. Obviously, the weather, while winter wasn't a surprise, the fact that it lasted as long as it did and was as blustery was a disappointment. But the passion and the pride that the construction crew brings each and every day is just unbelievable.
And collectively, you've kind of painted yourselves in the corner because you've already planned events for the fall. This has to be done, so it can't languish. Pretty much, you have a hard deadline.
Short answer is yes, but deadlines are a good thing. You know, life full of deadlines, and I think you know, we all perform better under those circumstances. So it's a good thing. I look at it as much more of an opportunity than a challenge. We're excited to get started. The community is more than excited to have us open those doors. So whether it be Canisius, it'll be one of the first ones on the ice as their schedule kicks off in October, or the series of events that will flow from the rinks, the academy, and everything else we're doing. It's a good thing to have a target date that's firm and coming fast.
All right, I've been dying to do this interview because I wanted to talk to you about the move to this position. You are a rock star in the banking community. You're now in charge of basically building a state-of-the-art, multi-purpose project, which is a hotel, retail, ice rinks. I mean, you name it, you're going to try to do it in that building. Why did this make sense for John Koelmel?
I was stated not quite a year ago when I signed up. I'm a Buffalo guy. I bleed Buffalo blue, always have, and have worked hard, busted my butt to make a difference for this community. So when Terry and Kim reached out to me and invited me to join the team, one, I was blown away. I was humbled that the opportunity would be presented, and two, it was clear then how this was going to change the look and feel and face of Buffalo. The opportunity for me to contribute in an even more direct way than hopefully I have over the years. This age, stage, and circumstance to do it in a sports-related venue and field, all the more exciting for me. I mean, I've played a lot of sports, coached a lot of sports, big sports fan. Hockey's always been at the center of that. So right place, right time, right circumstance. I was jacked up then. I'm even more fired up now.
I knew you were obviously a sports guy from the standpoint. You got very involved with the Empire State Games a couple years ago, made it a huge success in this community. This seemed to be, I guess, a natural for you then to get involved in something this high profile and with an owner that has put his money where his mouth is.
Well, Terry and Kim define passion. Passion for the game of hockey, passion for Buffalo, passion for all they do. If you ask me to list who John Koelmel is, passion would certainly be on the top of that list. So it lines up nicely. As I said, I was honored that they wanted me to you know, be part of their process here. So it was an easy decision for me, an exciting one to make. And 9-10 months later, I'm even more excited and more passionate about what we're doing, and a lot of that's the team that we've been able to put together. So the Nick Faddies, the Kevin Adams, the Dom Vernies, the Jason Jerome's, the great organization that the Sabres have, Ted Black and his team. It's just been a real hoot to work with everyone and build something really special. So
how does that work? I mean, do they ask your advice on trades, and do you ask for their advice on what should be in the retail shop on the first floor?
It's too loaded a question. Short answer to that one's no. Certainly on the trade front, I'm very much involved. This is a full-time gig, full-time job in terms of what I'm doing, and the need to put a team together to work our project and ensure we create that distinguishing, differentiating experience come October. You know, I'm on the sidelines like everybody else. I've got my season tickets, and I'm cheering loudly. When I get a chance, I give them my 2 cents, but it's just that, my 2 cents.
Let's talk about the hockey flavor of the complex, because you have 2 rinks. The Sabres will be practicing there, I assume.
Not very often.
No, okay.
Not very often. It's not built as a practice venue for the Sabres.
So people shouldn't go there expecting to see the Sabres, but Canisius is going to be there, and you're really trying to get a presence for the amateur hockey community to be in that building.
Yeah, let me just give you a quick little recap. As you said, hockey is the reason the building's being built. So for all of the buzz around the Marriott and 716 as a restaurant and Tim Hortons and the retail, none of that would have happened if it wasn't because of the hockey focus for the project itself. Level 6, well, it's a better part of a 20-story building. Level 6 is the heart and soul and the heartbeat of the project, and that's all hockey focused. So there's two components. One's an inclusive, as I like to say, create a rising tide to lift all boats initiative, outreach to the community, involve youth organizations across the community, increase, as Nick Faddy likes to say, the organization and the numbers. Western New York, upstate New York's incredibly strong in terms of hockey interest, youth hockey interest. We want to add to that. We want to accelerate and enhance the growth and development of hockey talent in this area and the region in general. Two is the academy side. That's what Kevin Adams, he leads, the team he's putting together, Adam Mayer, Marty Braun, Charlie Mandola, Jeremiah Crow, and others that'll come on board to work the elite athlete and really take them to the next level. As I say, we're going to be elite, but not elitist. So we're very inclusive. At the same time, we're training the higher end athletes. So you'll see an array of programming. Our partners, some of our key partners, you've mentioned Canisius right off the bat. This will be home ice for them. They'll practice here every day throughout the season. They'll play their home games here. We think it'll create a great environment. Rink 1, our feature rink, will just real home ice advantage for them. There's no question about that. The Junior Sabres, they've expanded their program, so they now have youth teams playing at the highest levels from age 12 up through 20, the Junior Sabres that exist today. So they'll have 7 teams on board. ECC, we announced that we'll host them as their home rink as well. So we'll have programs from D1 through all levels of youth, junior, college, that'll be featured on a consistent basis. Weekends we'll be running tournaments every weekend, whether it's 8, 16 team tournaments. We'll host local as well as teams from across the country. Our objective is to have some of the best youth hockey teams in the country, the best youth hockey organizations participating in our tournaments, and that's been the response. The Junior Sabres will be hosting the AAA events, but we'll have a full array of events for both boys and girls. So there'll be a continuum of hockey activity year-round. As I said to everybody, this is 50 weeks a year, 7 days and nights that we're open for business. There's no off-season. So frankly, this run through this summer to gear up for the fall, that's just a practice run for what will be the continuum going forward. It'll be hockey full-time year-round, and frankly, the traditional off-season will be a bit of a spike and a peak for us as we create a real destination, we think, for developing some of the best talent not only in the country but in the world.
How do you make this this location user-friendly for those mom and dads who are used to the suburbs and the free parking and all that? How do you make this as an attractive location for their son to play, daughter to play?
Give them free parking, so anybody who comes down here to use the ice rinks, use our ice facilities, parking will be free. That's embedded in the cost that they'll otherwise incur. So there's no, we get it. We make ease of access. I mean, Buffalo's can I park at the front door type of town, whether you're going out to eat, whether you're going to the movies, whether you're going shopping, we get that. On one hand, we want to make this whole district and this whole area, we're foundational for the district, so we want everybody to experience Canal Side, not just Harbor Center, but in terms of the facility itself, we get it. We'll have 750 parking spaces, so you and your family come to participate in any of the hockey programming, it'll be free. I mean, attendance, the tournaments, there's no charge for that and the like. So we want to make access available. So Terry and Kim making an incredible investment here. As I've said it, they're investing with their heart, not with their head. If they want to put these kind of dollars to work and maximize their return, they wouldn't be putting it in the ground across the street. So they're doing this to make a difference for this community, really enable people to not only play and develop at a higher level, but enjoy the sport. So we want to make it easy. We want to make it accessible. Yep, people are going to have to come downtown. They're not going to be able to go to their corner rink or their neighborhood rink, but we think we can create a differentiating experience. We think we can supplement and complement. We're not trying to compete with the other rinks. We're back to my rising tide lifts all boats. That's really our objective here, is to lift everyone up and raise the bar, we hope and think, for the game of hockey in general in Western New York.
How does your job change once the construction project is done?
Frankly, not significantly. Cliff Benson, we're a partnership at this point. So Cliff Benson, Sabres Development Officer, has really been leading the construction effort from the get-go. So he and I are a bit joined at the hip, obviously, to ensure that we stay in sync. But his focus day in and day out is on the construction side. Mine's been to build the operational team and kick it into gear. So my job will change because the doors are open, and that what we've been preparing for. We now need to execute day in and day out. But this is the operational path that I've been on. So there's no directional shift. There's no right or left turn for me.
Real quick, because the one thing, it just seems common sense. The rinks are on the 6th floor.
Right.
Why not on the first floor? Obviously, they figured out the whole support of the weight and that type of thing, but that wasn't any type of obstacle from a construction standpoint?
I don't want to sound too expert, but the decision was made. It was better for multiple reasons to not go down in terms of couldn't go down relative to parking, and putting the rinks up above the parking versus the parking above the rinks was obviously the conclusion that was reached. Both brought certainly nuances and challenges to it. So having rinks 6 floors up, 6 levels up clearly has its challenges, but that's part of the unique nature and part of the unique experience. Appreciate, the hotel's going to be, the hotel lobby's on level 7 as we were up there last week. I mean, you're literally at the Skyway level. So as you stand in the hotel lobby, you'll be looking out over the Skyway into the lake, and have some of the best views in downtown Buffalo. So part of the differentiating experience was to lift those rinks up and raise people up to a higher level, literally in that case.
What's your target date for cutting the ribbon?
We always talked about the fall, so right now we're talking October. They'll say we're working hard to bring everything online as concurrent as possible, but clearly that October-November timeframe, I've talked about internally creating a fall festival. Obviously the Sabres will kick back off their new season. We'll be coming off what I'm sure is another successful run. Canal Side, ECHDC, and the hundreds of events that they'll bring better part of 1 million people downtown here. They'll get a chance to see it firsthand. We want to feed off of that and create that energy. The partnership and the collaboration in the district's been phenomenal. The district will look very different, not just because of our project, the replica canals that ECHDC is going to have completed. That'll come online in that same September, October timeframe. Those are the same canals, the old odd block on which you'll be able to skate, next winter, and all the rest of that. The Benderson project, the Marriott Courtyard, comes online in the next 30-45 days. Sam Savarino, some of the work they're doing here. Doug Swift, Earl Ketchy's project out back. There's more investment. So the district will look very different. People who haven't come here in a while, they'll go, whoa, it isn't just our building. We want to make sure that the canal side experience is not inconsistent with what will be a real wow experience for Harbor Center itself.
John, this has been terrific. Thanks again so much for taking the time to be with us.
Can't
wait to see it open.
Yeah, the doors open.
In October, I'll be down and be standing in line with everybody else. We'll be back. More of All Sports right after this.